Hello and good morning. This is Frank with the National Real Estate Post. Before I get started with a very special guest, I would like to remind you all that if you are a wholesale account executive and you're not working with Remen Wholesale, you're totally blowing it. You need to work with those guys. They're absolutely rad, totally awesome, and they are looking for experienced wholesale account executives across the whole country. So if you've got some thoughts, maybe you think about looking around, trying a new gig, something like that, give these guys a try. Give them a shout. We love them. They've been working with us for a long time. They're fantastic. Put the banner you see on your screen right here over on your right, and you can get in touch with them there. Now I'm going to introduce our very special guest. It's a friend of mine who I've known for at least 10 years. He used to have a little segment on our show when we were what were we? We were the TBWS Daily, right? And he had a little segment for a minute there, and it was really fun. But he's got some really neat things happening right now that I think are going to benefit all of us, and that's why we wanted to have him on the show. I want to introduce to you guys Bill Hart. He's with Building Champions. He's Coach Bill Hart with Building Champions, and he's going to tell us about a new book that he has just released. Bill, how are you?
It's so good, brother. I'm so good. It's good to be back and hanging with you.
I know. It's been a long time, man. I used to love your tips that we used to do back in the day. That was fun. I'd like to kind of start that again, just to let you know.
I am available to make that happen. You reach out, we'll figure out how to make it happen.
All right, excellent. So, Bill, I've been watching you on Facebook, and you're out there quite a bit, and I've been seeing this military angle in your videos, etc. And now there's a book. And tell us real quickly, what's this book about? It's titled White Collar Warrior, and I love the subtitle, guys, which is Lessons for Sales Professionals from America's Military Elite. What an interesting concept. Give us the overview real quick.
Yeah, man. So it's a really simple idea, and it's where I married my two passions, honestly. My passion for coaching, and particularly the best of the best, and just what I see in terms of parallels there. And then, Frank, I'm one of the 99% in our country that has never served our country in uniform. There's only 1%, less than 1% that have. And what I see with Navy SEALs and Army Rangers and Force Recon Marines, and I interviewed a Top Gun instructor, is, dude, there are parallels. I mean, there are absolute parallels between the way they rock through their world and the way that we do, except, of course, we don't have as much at stake, right?
Right, I get it. And I noticed in the brief overview of the book that you're using the term elite quite a bit there. Yeah. And so give us some insight to why you're doing that.
Yeah, so in the special forces, right, which is I don't remember, it's such a small percentage of the 1%. It's a very, very small group. They are at the leading edge of the spear for our country. There are movies, there are TV shows now, SEAL Team, right? It's a very easy thing to sort of get a visual on. I get it. These are the best of the best. And the parallel that I'm creating in the sales and really sales leadership world is, and you see it, Frank, you see it all the time. There are people that just perform at a much higher level than everybody else. Today, I just did an interview with Colleen Frost, a realtor in Dallas, sold 155 homes last year. The average realtor sells 10. She's elite.
Yeah, for sure. So in the book, are you drawing an example of what a particular elite individual in the military has done and how that transposes over to us on the sales side, basically?
Yeah, and I actually did it in 7 different chapters. So just think about these. Run it through your head from your own experience, and I would ask your viewers to do the same thing. Training, discipline, fear, planning, failure, motivation, and team. Right now, we don't have time to necessarily unpack all of those today, but choose any of them that you want. Any of those topics, I dug into through interviews. I mean, I haven't made that clear probably. I interviewed like for an hour and a half, again, Navy SEALs, Army Rangers, Top Gun instructor David Burke with Echelon Front, Jocko's company. They just think differently. So when you talk to them about training, as an example, training for them is a lifetime commitment, Frank. They don't just kind of show up and wing it. And what I see in our business, particularly in the mortgage space, is it's easy to kind of get just involved, right? Like I'm in the game, but if I'm not really sharpening the saw, I'm not showing up as well as I possibly could. And to that point today, as we sit here, May 2018, buddy, if there was ever a time to train, to connect with you guys, to stay involved with a show like yours, to buy a book like this, to find ways to sharpen your own saw and say, how do I get better? How do I respond to those objections? How do I understand that product better? How do I take an offering that allows me to show up better with my borrowers and with my referral partners? Now is not a time for casual.
That is awesome. Okay, that is really awesome. I'm going to dig into your book. I'm going to tell you that right now. I'm actually kind of a big fan of sales books. You know what I mean? And if you remember back in the day when you were on the show, that's what we did, a lot of sales book exploring. And I'm definitely going to dig into it. But I can see already, based on these 7 chapters, that this is going to be a real benefit to everybody. And now I can really see. But just on this first thing that you talked about, I see what you're talking about. You're digging in deep to really try and really show the reader, what it means to be elite at something.
Yeah, man. It's, you know what, Frank? Here's the thing that really struck me as I got to know some of these guys, and they are at this point all guys. We do now have 2 women that have passed Ranger School, so we will start to see women more in the Special Forces. There haven't been until now. But you know this yourself. You've read books. You probably met some of these guys, and they're just they perform at a different level, and they engage with everything at a different level. And so my philosophy is, and the way that I'm signing my books is, if you're going to be in, be all in. And that's what I see missing in our business, right? Like you guys have done this with the show, man. The way that you created your show, you guys were absolutely all in from day one. This was not a casual, let's see what happens. I mean, right?
Correct. Yeah, true.
All in. Yeah, you monetized it. You turned it into something valuable that people talk about. And I'm saying the same thing. I'm saying if you're in this business, we are in a season, and you know this, Frank, we're in a season right now. Everybody knows what's going on. But the truth of the matter is, there is a time right now to double down, right, and become the best that you can be so that you can gain market share. Because I'm telling you, folks, there's going to be attrition. There will be people that will leave this business because it's too hard. Right?
Yeah, you're all over it. I know we're running a little late on time, but I was hoping, can you give us a snippet of something from inside the book, maybe, Bill, that you've already been incredibly inspirational just in this few minutes.
Good.
But is there a little snippet example from the book that you're saying?
Yeah.
That you can share, or it might take too much time, but is that possible?
Here's a real quick one. Real quick one is just write down the by noon effect. The by noon effect. And that is, if you ask me, what do I see over and over and over, Frank, with top producers? They have a morning routine. They knock out their key disciplines early, and then they have the rest of the day to react. Casual people don't do that. They just let the day sort of happen. Lean in, wake up earlier, go to bed earlier, for God's sakes, record the stuff you're watching at 11 o'clock and quit binging on Netflix at 11 p.m. Stop it. And wake up earlier and knock out your disciplines early. Watch what happens.
Great stuff from Coach Bill Hart with his new book, White Collar Warrior. Fantastic. We have provided a link for you guys down below where you can click over and purchase the book. And we'll also put a link down below where you can reach out to Coach Bill if you would like to start talking to him about maybe getting some coaching. Obviously, you better be ready for it with Bill. That's all. That's all I gotta say. So with that, can we have you back on the show again from time to time?
It would be my pleasure, brother. Just reach out.
All right, good stuff. Thank you so much, Bill. We appreciate it. Everybody, have a great day. Leave us your comments down below. Forward, share, and subscribe. And we'll catch you later here at the Natural Real Estate Post.